Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And as you can see, this morning, I've actually managed to get my tablet to work correctly. Don't ask me why it's suddenly doing that. Maybe we've just had bad internet these last few days, but everything seems to be back to normal. And as you can see, it is a beautiful morning with bright, clear blue skies. Now, I've got to be honest, Amanda's weather forecast said it was going to be a good day. However, we were going to expect thunderstorms, and even Jane's been looking at her weather app, and again, her weather app is saying the same. Thunderstorms are supposed to be here at 9 o'clock. Well, at the moment, it is just before 9 o'clock here, and nothing at the moment. Clear blue skies, absolutely lovely. Big shout out to Wiggy Winstanley, who's tuned in over there in Limassol in Cyprus, but it looks like an absolutely lovely day, so maybe the storms have moved on. But anyway, I'm going to quickly crack on with the news this morning, simply because there's been a lot going on within the last 24 hours. Can I just say thank you to those people who tuned into my broadcast yesterday evening that I did from the house, broadcasting to Magdalena's and back out again because of the restrictions that have been placed upon us by the Greek government. It went really well last night. I was really shocked at the amount of people who tuned in. I had people from all over. I had people from Aruba. I had people from Florida. Obviously people from the UK. Also people from Holland who'd just been on holiday who tuned in as well. Big shout out to Walter, who's now back in Amsterdam. And all in all, absolutely fantastic broadcast. It's not up on the Mixcloud yet. I'll check that this morning. It should probably be there, ready to go up, and I will get it on. Anyway, Wiggy says, can't see you wearing your shirt. It hasn't arrived yet, Wiggy. It's only been in the post 2 days. All right, as soon as it arrives, don't worry, mate, I will put it on for you. Right, so what's been going on then? Just quickly then, the weather forecast as sent to me by the lovely Amanda. She said Thursday's weather, warning for thunderstorms throughout the day. Yeah, okay, right. She says it's highs of 27, but it's going to feel like 30, and enjoy the day. So I will. Right, arrivals today then. Arrivals are looking interesting today. We've got 2 flights in from Athens, as we normally kind of expect. We've got 1 flight in from Zurich in Switzerland. We have 2 flights in from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. We've got 1 flight in from Salzburg in Austria today as well, and we have 1 flight in from Eindhoven in Germany as well today as well. So all in all, not a great day for people arriving, but we will wait and see nonetheless. Right, let's have a quick look at the COVID infections for the last 24 hours here in Greece. Well, the good thing is that the infection rate is starting to go down. At the moment, it is 890 new infections have been reported across the country. That's down from 1,339 on the previous day, which is better news. Taking the total amount of infections since the pandemic started up to 412,420. Anyway, as for infections coming into the country, there were 2 new cases identified after checks into the country. That was also down. No new infections being seen on Lefkada or Kefalonia. Corfu had 8 new infections, and Zakynthos, again, no new infections being recorded on Zakynthos, meaning that at the moment for the month of June, we still have had only 5 infections for the month of June. So that should put us in good stead for hopefully coming off the naughty step as far as Boris is concerned. When it comes to deaths as well, deaths are also down at the moment. I did report to you the other day that we had 30 new deaths across the UK. At the moment, that death number has dropped down to only 15. Which is good, of which 96.4% of those people had underlying health conditions or were over the ages of 70. The total death toll since the pandemic started is now 12,346. So again, that number is looking good as well. But again, our condolences to those people that are affected. When it comes to hospitalizations at the moment in ICUs, what is interesting is the fact that the number is still the same at 381. Although the numbers between male and female has kind of swithed around a bit. As somebody's got better, somebody else has come in. So at the moment, there's 248 male people in ICUs at the moment across the country and 133 females. So at the moment, it looks like hospitalizations in the ICUs has stabilized at the moment, and we hope to see that number drop as well. Right, okay, today's news then. Well, obviously, as I was doing my broadcast yesterday, the good news came in last night that music at outdoor cafes and restaurants will be permitted as of the 12th of June, which is this Saturday. And the current overnight curfew, that has also been shortened by 1 hour as part of the lifting of social restrictions. So that means that now you can go out and enjoy yourselves till 1:30 in the morning instead of 12:30. Now, it seems that when we start looking at the crux of everything as well, with the what has been imposed due to the coronavirus pandemic, the restrictions and everything, cafes and restaurants at well ventilated, it says galleries, will be allowed to reopen, but only those which have a separate entrance and exit. The Deputy Minister for Civil Protection, Nikos Hariadis, announced on Wednesday at his regular briefing. Now, as of 6 a.m. on Saturday, the curfew will begin at 1:30 until 5 a.m. And only on July 1st, the measure will end if the epidemiology data allows it. So what they're saying then basically, as of the 1st of July, we might actually see the curfew ending completely. So that will be absolutely brilliant. So we're technically going to go back to the old hours, as it was. Anyway, the maximum capacity in live venues is increased to 75% from its current 50% for audiences up to 1,000 people. To 70% up to 5,000 people, and to 65% for venues which handle up to 15,000 people. Any venue larger than 15,000 will be allowed a fixed maximum of 10,000 attendees. So again, for your big venues, again, that's good news. I think they even mean sporting venues as well, etc. So that's good news, especially with the Euros coming up soon as well. And the Euros are being played all over Europe at the moment. Anyway, additionally, as of the 1st of July, the maximum attendees at a wedding reception and catering services is raised from the current 100 to a maximum 300. So it looks like big weddings might be on the way back as well, as they're changing the rules for that as well. So anyway, speaking at the same briefing, the Health Minister Vasily Kalides said that the vaccinations of bedridden citizens will begin at the end of June. Those will be given the Johnson & Johnson single-dose vaccine. He also reminded reporters that the 25 to 29 age group can begin looking at their vaccination appointments on Thursday. Right, interestingly, now that it seems music is allowed back in venues, there's been a lot of questions being raised about the legalities of who can go back to work and who can't go back to work in the terms of being vaccinated and non-vaccinated. Anyway, it seems yesterday a legal expert said that employers can legally bar employees from the workplace if they refuse to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, speaking on ERT's public radio, Professor of Constitutional Law Antonis Macardo said that any measure deemed necessary for the protection of public health, which is backed by the Health Experts Committee, is lawful. Anyway, Macardo disagreed with comments made by the Development Minister and Andrius Georgiadis, who said that private businesses should have the right to fire workers who refuse to get vaccinated against the virus. Dismissing unvaccinated workers would be an extreme measure, he said. Such policy is neither necessary nor legal, said Zakynthos, a former interior minister, adding that companies can legally separate vaccinated and unvaccinated workers by a shift or floor, for example. So a DJ booth can shut the doors in there and I'm quite safe. Anyway, he said companies can nevertheless legally require vaccines as a condition of employment. So there we go. To be vaccinated or not to be vaccinated? That is the question. Anyway, interestingly, yesterday, the European Union lawmakers on Wednesday endorsed a new travel certificate that will allow people to move between the European countries without having to quarantine or undergo extra coronavirus tests, paving the way for the pass to start in time for the summer. Anyway, the widely awaited certificate is aimed at saving Europe's travel industry and prime tourist sites from another disastrous holiday season. Key travel destinations like Greece have led the drive to have the certificate, which will have both a paper and digital forms, which can be rapidly produced. Anyway, several EU countries have already begun using the system, including Bulgaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Germany, Greece and Poland. Right now, travelling in the EU's 27 nations is a trial for tourists and airlines alike. You tell me about that. Countries have various COVID-19 traffic light systems, as I've already explained many times here, where those in green are considered safe and those in red are to be avoided. But each nation is applying different rules and standards, making travel confusing for all. Anyway, the new regulations governing the vaccine certificates were adopted in 2 votes at the European Parliament in Strasbourg. France rules for the EU citizens were passed 546 to 93 with 51 abstentions. Those for people from outside the bloc were passed to 553 to 91 with 46 abstentions as well. Obviously, we weren't involved in those votes, the UK that is. Anyway, the vote must still be rubber stamped by EU nations, but that is likely to be a formality according to the reports. Anyway, it means at the beginning of July the 1st, for the first 12 months, all EU countries must recognise the vaccine certificate. They will be issued free and certify that a person has either been fully vaccinated against the virus, has recently been tested negative, or has recovered from the disease. The rule will not be heavily enforced for about 6 weeks to allow countries to actually prepare. Anyway, the passes will be issued by individual nations, not from a centralised European system. They will contain a QR code with an advanced security features. Personal data will not be shared with other countries. Anyway, Spanish socialist lawmaker Juan Fernando Lopez Acatar, what a name, who chaperoned the vote through the parliament, said EU states are encouraged to refrain from improvising further restrictions unless strictly necessary and proportionate. So in other words, you can't start changing things as you go along. Once it's been set in stone, you must continue to run the way it has been set by the EU. Anyway, he also did say people coming from outside the EU, this includes the UK, the overwhelming majority of whom should be vaccinated to enter, will be able to get a certificate if they can convince authorities in the EU country they enter that they qualify for one. So it means expatriate people, yes, you can still get one yourself. The Minister of Development and Investment, Minister Adios Georgidis, said in an interview with ERT that self-tests will be distributed by other means. rather than pharmacies, and believes that the distribution can also be done by supermarkets. I've just realised I've gone into another story there, but that's by the by. You do remember yesterday that pharmacies were saying that they're going to issue these 3 weeks worth of self-testing kits, and then after that they were not going to be issuing them anymore, and other channels were being explored. However, the minister at the time did not mention as to how these self-test kits, which are free, would be distributed if the pharmacies weren't going to do it. And it seems that he believes that the distribution is going to be done by supermarkets. Yes, the minister noted about that the details will be announced in the coming hours. That was yesterday, and possibly tomorrow. So we may have further update on this today. Anyway, referring to the issue about personal data in order for citizens to obtain self-test kits, the minister argued that there's no question, since the citizen himself will choose whether he wants to give his AMCA number or not. And if you don't give your AMCA number, you don't get it for free. I suppose if you're going to buy one in a supermarket, basically you'll pay whatever the market rate will be for it. He also added, however, that the major issue to the vaccinated, as to many citizens as possible, noting that he does not understand the paranoia of not wanting people to be vaccinated. There we go. That question again, my choice. I'll decide whether I want to have it or not. He also says that the concern we had in December or January cannot exist today, as 1.5 billion people around the world have been vaccinated and they are fine. Right, okay. Regarding, now this is the other wording that I really am not liking the sound of at the moment, is regarding the privileges of the vaccinated. That's another little phraseology that seems to be creeping in at the moment. He noted that he does not consider that there should be any privileges, no punishments, no shaking of the finger. Sounds like you're already doing that to me, fella. Vaccine concerns are respected, but today, after 1.5 billion people have been vaccinated, there can be no concern as there was in January. I think it's the principle of the matter that you have the freedom of choice, that you have the vaccination or you don't have the vaccination. So I think that is the bottom line of the question. Anyway, the minister also said yesterday a large hotelier came to my office and raised the issue that a small part of the staff does not want to be vaccinated. We concluded that we should inform the employees that for the safety of the company, everyone should be vaccinated, whoever does not want and whoever does not want to be vaccinated should also bear the consequences of his decision. Now this is the ludicrousy of it. If you've had the vaccine and you've been vaccinated, are you not then protected from the virus? If you're somebody who decides not to be vaccinated, are the people who've been vaccinated protecting you by having the vaccine? This is where it kind of all unravels. If the vaccine, people were happy with it and said, all right, I'm going to have it, and were 100% sure about having it, people would have it. But people still are erring on the side of caution, because at the end of the day, this vaccine has been rushed into development. We know that there was probably alternative means and other ways that the vaccine the virus could have been fought with other drugs that were cheaper, more available, more tested. But no, it was this rush to produce a vaccine, which at first was going to be patent free to allow everybody to produce it for basically nothing. But no, the pharmaceutical companies, some of them have actually, the vaccine has been the saving of their companies because of the demand that is being surreptitiously pushed forward by governments, not just here in Greece, not just in the UK, but it seems to be everywhere. They're all getting on this bandwagon that you've got to be vaccinated. But maybe a small amount of people don't want to be vaccinated. By myself, but you can see now the pressure is being ramped up that you will conform, you will do as you're told. You are putting people's lives at risk by not having the vaccine. I can't see how I am putting anybody's life at risk by not having the vaccine, because at the end of the day, aren't those people vaccinated? Aren't those people safe from the vaccine? And again, the only reason that a lot of people are taking the vaccine is because they're being pressurized into doing it, because they want to be able to plan their lives. They want to be able to go and hug granny and be able to get on a plane and go somewhere. But at the end of the day, to have the vaccine, they're giving up a freedom, the freedom of choice, that you have every right to decide what goes in your body. So when the live guinea pigs at the moment that are running around with the vaccine in their arm, it's then discovered maybe say 5, 10, 15 years down the line, hang on a minute, there was something wrong about this. Then we're going to see probably a big epidemic going on there of people with symptoms from it. And then what we're going to see is when they try and trace it back, are they going to be as open to say, yeah, I think it was the vaccine? Because don't forget, certain places, certain countries, you can't sue the drugs companies once you've had the vaccine. Good thing about Greece at the moment, you could still sue the government if you did have the vaccine and something was wrong with it, all right? And it did affect you. So again, it's this privilege now of privileges that will be given for those that are vaccinated. And it does kind of frighten me to see what road we are going down on, in the fact that you have no choice in the matter, and you will conform and you will take the vaccine. But anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to come off this subject now, because I know how much it can annoy certain people, especially those who choose not to be vaccinated. And finally, story, a nice bit of happy news, all right. Greek tennis champion Maria Skara reached the French Open semi-finals on Wednesday after an impressive performance against last year's winner, Iga Swiatek. Swana won in straight sets of 2-0 to 6-4, 6-4, and confirmed her stature among the leading ladies of world tennis. So Greek tennis is on a resurgence at the moment. Now, the 17th seed, that's where she's rated at the moment, secured a first Grand Slam semi-final where she will meet Czech Barbara Karakova. After her epic win, Sarika, speaking in Greek, thanked all her fans who watched her performance at the Philippe Chandy Court in Paris, and those back in Greece watching on TV. She said, I hope I will not return soon, she said. I want to get on further in the competitions. Anyway, Sarika joins Stefanos Tsitsipas. You might remember he's the Greek male champion at the moment, who's doing very well for himself in the Roland Garros semis. In what has been seen as a dream week for Greek tennis. Tsitsipas defeated the Russian Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-6 and 7-5 in the quarterfinals at the court of Philippe Chatrier at Roland Garros. So again, Maria Sakas beat Elise Mathurin and Sophia Kenin en route to the quarterfinals in Paris. So well done to the Greek tennis players. A nice little bit of jolliness in what can be a mixed news bag. Right, I'm really pleased to see there's people tuning in at the moment. I'm going to see if maybe everything is running nicely now with my tablet because of the weirdness that's been going on. Wiggy Winstanley's watching. Also, Amanda Gregory's watching now as well. Mike Glattonley is also tuning in. He says, morning, Ginge. Also, Teresa Ann Huggett is watching in. Thank you, Teresa, yesterday for all your little messages and stuff like that during the broadcast as well. Greatly appreciated. Also, Wiggy Winstanley is tuning in at the moment, all the way over there in Limassol, Greece. He's the ambassador for Wigan, for Greece, for the ambassador for Wigan in Greece. Sorry, in Cyprus. What am I saying? Let's have a look who else is tuning in at the moment. Mandy Jolly, previously Hatton, or Mandy Jolly, she's tuning in at the moment. Lovely to have you tuning in as well. I'm not sure where you're from, my darling. Also, Wiggy's saying, where's your shirt? Why didn't you put your shirt on? Well, Wiggy, as soon as it arrives, I will definitely be putting that shirt on. Amanda Gregory says, morning, hun. We had rain overnight, really, but it's brought a lovely day. I didn't know we'd actually had any rain last night. I know Jane was out last night with friends yesterday evening in Sillaby. So I didn't realise it probably rained in the early hours while we were all fast asleep. Anyway, I've got a message from somebody saying, great show last night. Thank you for that. Jerry Coyle says, all right, mate, from a dark, overcast Mansfield. And Shane Bowen and Exmoor was the person who said, great show last night. I'm going to have to start to rethink the shows. I did say last night doing the live broadcast to Magdalena's that this is probably going to be the end of the Requesting Inspiration show. But until I speak with Dennis and we look at the legislation that has been told us about the way ahead in regards to live music in venues and the restrictions and that are still in place, maybe I will not be straight away back into Magdalena's. So again, we still got to look at numbers of people that we have within the bars, because again, at the end of the day, it will boil down to staff and money and people. So I might not be rushing straight back into Magdalena's, but I think we'll get a clearer picture over the next few days as to the way ahead and how we will tackle it at the moment. So we will wait and see. And Amanda just said, yes, it was early, about 3 a.m. I was out with the dogs at the time. So there we go. We had a bit of rain last night and now we've got absolutely beautiful sunshine. Right, I'm going to bang it on the head there because I've got quite a few things to do this morning. One of them is going to be getting some self-test kits maybe as well to get ready to go back to work on whatever's decided. So I'm going to get me free self-test kits before they go to the supermarkets where they'll probably start selling them, but we shall wait and see. But anyway, you have a safe day, you have a good time, and I will keep my ear to the ground, and as soon as I hear anything I will let you know. And Wiggy Winstanley says, I checked the postman on your cameras. Cheers to that, Wiggy. Trust me, I'll be checking with the postman because I don't want that parcel to go astray, that is for sure. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you again soon. You take care and have a fantastic day. Ta-ra.